country's great mysteries began 75 years ago last summer as Americans learned that Amelia Earhart was missing.
Fame doesn't guarantee answers. Despite worldwide attention, these 12 public figures disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and their cases remain unsolved. 12. Sean Flynn disappeared. April 6, 1970, Cambodia. The son of Hollywood legend Errol Flynn traded acting for photojournalism, documenting the Vietnam War. On April 6, 1970, Sean and fellow journalist Dana Stone rode motorcycles toward a Viet Cong checkpoint near Highway 1 in Cambodia. They were never seen again. Multiple witnesses reported seeing them captured at the checkpoint. The most credible theory, they were held by the Khmer Rouge and died in captivity sometime between 1970 to 1971. Despite extensive investigations and several excavations at suspected burial sites, no remains have been definitively identified. In 1984, Sean was declared legally dead. His mother, actress Lily Demita, spent years funding searches and following leads across Southeast Asia, all unsuccessful. 11 Richie Edwards disappeared. February 1, 1995, Wales. The Manic Street Preachers guitarist and lyricist struggled openly with depression, self-harm, and anorexia. On February 1, 1995, the day before a promotional tour to America, Edwards checked out of London's Embassy Hotel. His car was found 2 weeks later near the Severn Bridge, a known suicide location. Despite the grim circumstances, his body was never recovered. In November 2008, he was declared presumed dead. But sightings have persisted. Fans claim to have seen him in India, Spain, and the Canary Islands. His sister Rachel maintains he's still alive, pointing to the fact that his passport and bank account were never used after his disappearance. Yet the band has left the door open for his return, keeping his share of royalties in a separate account. 10. Bison Delay disappeared, July 2002, South Pacific. The former Chicago Bulls champion, born Brian Williams, walked away from a lucrative NBA career at 30 to sail the world. In July 2002, Dele, his girlfriend Serena Carlin, and boat captain Bertrand Saldo set sail from Tahiti on Dele's catamaran, accompanied by Dele's older brother, Miles DeBoard. When the boat docked in Tahiti, only Miles was aboard. He was later caught attempting to buy $152,000 in gold using his brother's identity and forging documents. Before authorities could question him thoroughly, Miles died from an intentional insulin overdose on September 27, 2002. As the prevailing theory, Miles killed all 3 passengers during an altercation at sea and dumped their bodies overboard. Without witnesses or remains, the case remains officially unsolved. 9. Connie Converse disappeared, August 1974. Decades before modern singer-songwriters, Connie Converse was creating hauntingly beautiful folk music in 1950s New York City. The world wasn't ready. After years of rejection and growing depression, she gave up music and moved to Michigan. In August 1974, shortly after her 50th birthday, Converse packed her Volkswagen Beetle and wrote letters to family and friends saying she wanted to start a new life. She drove away and was never heard from again. Ironically, her music was rediscovered in 2004 when a friend shared old reel-to-reel recordings. Her album How Sad and How Lovely was released in 2009 to critical acclaim, a legacy she never knew she'd have. 8. Joe Pickler disappeared, January 5, 2006. Washington child actor Joe Pickler appeared in Beethoven films and Varsity Blues. After taking a break from acting, he planned to return after high school. On January 5, 2006, the 18-year-old disappeared after a night out with friends in Bremerton, Washington. His car was found the next day at an intersection near the Narrows Bridge, with his belongings inside, including a note containing poetry and expressions of disappointment, though his family insists it wasn't a suicide note. Despite searches of Puget Sound and extensive investigation, no trace of Joe has been found. The Kitsap County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate, but the case remains cold. 7. Jim Sullivan. Disappeared, March 1975. At New Mexico, in 1975, folk rock musician Jim Sullivan left Los Angeles for Nashville, hoping to revive his stalling career. His abandoned VW Bug was found on a ranch in New Mexico containing his wallet, guitar, and copies of his album, but no Jim. Here's where it gets strange. Sullivan's 1969 debut album was titled UFO, with lyrics about disappearing into the desert and leaving Earth. The ranch where his car was found had reported UFO sightings. The owner had law enforcement connections, leading to speculation about a cover-up. More likely, Sullivan met with misadventure in the harsh desert. But without a body or witnesses, the mystery endures. 6. Jimmy Hoffa. Disappeared, July 30th, 1975, Michigan. The powerful Teamsters, president's ties to organized crime, finally caught up with him. On July 30th, 1975, Hoffa went to a restaurant in Bloomfield Township, Michigan, supposedly to meet mafia figures Anthony Provenzano and Anthony Giacalone. He was never seen again. The FBI conducted one of the largest missing person investigations in U.S. history. Agents have dug up driveways, horse farms, and even Giants Stadium, now demolished. In 2019, they searched beneath a New Jersey bridge. In 2021, they excavated a former landfill. The most credible theory comes from mob hitman Frank Sheeran, who claimed in a deathbed confession that he shot Hoffa, though this remains unverified. Hoffa was declared legally dead in 1982. His body has never been found. 5. Glenn Miller. Disappeared, December 15, 1944. An English Channel, the swing era's biggest star, was flying from England to Paris to perform for Allied troops when his small plane disappeared over the English Channel in thick fog. Neither the aircraft nor any of the 3 people aboard were ever found. The official explanation: bad weather caused the crash. But researchers have proposed another theory. Miller's plane was accidentally struck by bombs jettisoned from Allied bombers returning from an aborted raid. RAF records show 138 Lancaster bombers dumped their payloads in the English Channel around the time and location of Miller's flight. In 2014, a German journalist claimed to have found Miller's plane's serial number in archives showing it had engine problems. The mystery continues. 4. Theodosia Burr Alston. Disappeared December 31st, 1812. Atlantic Ocean, the brilliant daughter of Vice President Aaron Burr and wife of South Carolina Governor Joseph Alston, boarded the schooner Patriot in Georgetown, South Carolina, on December 31st, 1812, bound for New York to visit her father. The ship never arrived. It's believed to have been lost in a storm off Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, though some theories suggest pirates captured the vessel. The Patriot was never found, and no wreckage was ever identified. Locals still report seeing a woman in white near the Georgetown waterfront, allegedly Theodosia's ghost, waiting for a ship that will never return. 3. Michael Rockefeller. Disappeared, November 19, 1961. At New Guinea, the 23-year-old son of New York Governor and future Vice President, Nelson Rockefeller was collecting indigenous art in Dutch New Guinea when his catamaran capsized in rough seas. Michael told his companion, "I think I can make it," and swam toward shore. He was never seen again. The official conclusion: he drowned in the strong currents. But a darker theory emerged from extensive reporting by Carl Hoffman. Michael reached shore only to be killed by the Asmat tribe in revenge for a 1958 massacre by Dutch colonists that killed several Asmat, including the tribe's spiritual leader. Hoffman's investigation included interviews with tribe members who claimed to have witnessed or participated in the killing, while compelling no physical evidence has ever been found. 2. Harold Holt. Disappeared, December 17, 1967. Australia. The sitting Australian Prime Minister went for a swim at Cheviot Beach, Victoria. Despite friends warning him the surf was too dangerous, Holt, an experienced swimmer and spearfisher, plunged into the water and was quickly swept away by a powerful rip current. Despite one of the largest search operations in Australian history, involving Navy divers, military aircraft, and local volunteers, no trace of Holt was ever found. This led to conspiracy theories that he was a Chinese spy extracted by submarine, or that he faked his death. The reality is almost certainly that a 59-year-old man with a shoulder injury drowned in dangerous surf, and his body was taken by sharks or swept out to sea. Holt was presumed dead 2 days later. He remains the only Australian Prime Minister to disappear while in office. 1. Amelia Earhart. Disappeared. July 2, 1937, Pacific Ocean. The pioneering aviator vanished while attempting to circumnavigate the globe. On July 2, 1937, Earhart and navigator Fred Noonan took off from Lae, Papua New Guinea, headed for Howland Island, a tiny refueling stop in the Pacific. They never arrived. Earhart's last radio transmissions indicated she was near Howland, but couldn't locate the island. The U.S. government conducted a massive 16-day search covering 250,000 square miles of ocean. Nothing was found. The 2024 discovery that wasn't. In January 2024, Deep Sea Vision captured sonar images of what appeared to be an aircraft-shaped object about 16,000 feet underwater, roughly 100 miles from Howland Island. The discovery made worldwide headlines. CEO Tony Romeo, a pilot and former U.S. Air Force intelligence officer, he had funded the $11 million search by selling his commercial real estate properties. His team had scanned over 5,200 square miles of ocean floor using advanced autonomous underwater vehicles. But in November 2024, the team returned with high-resolution equipment for a closer look. The result? The sonar image showed a natural rock formation, not Earhart's plane. Romeo called it the cruelest formation ever created by nature, but told CNN, "In some ways, I'm even more excited now about it. The plot thickens and the riddle is still unsolved." The theories: 1. Crash and sink, official. Ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific. 2. Nikumaroro. Castaway landed on uninhabited Nikumaroro Island and died there, supported by artifacts found by Tighar. 3. Captured by Japan. Taken prisoner by Japanese forces, largely debunked. Multiple expeditions continue searching. As of 2026, Earhart's final resting place remains one of aviation's greatest mysteries. The search continues. These 12 cases remind us that fame offers no immunity from tragedy. Some likely met accidental deaths in remote locations. Others may have chosen to disappear. A few might have met with foul play. What they all share: families still seeking answers, investigators still following leads, and the haunting reality that in a connected world, people can still vanish without a trace. Which case do you think has the best chance of being solved? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to Mysteries Uncovered Files for more fact-based investigations into history's most perplexing disappearances.